All right, we got our first rainstorm of the season. Gave us about a little less than an inch of rain. So let's go see how our new sump pump did. All right, I can see the top of the sump pump, so I had no problem keeping up with the rain, which I didn't expect anything less. So we haven't had a real big atmospheric river type storm yet, so hopefully, I don't really want one, but I want to see how the sump pump can keep up. So if we get one, there's some predictions we will get some this year. I'll check it while it's actually raining hard, and we'll see how it's doing. Alright, so we had a little rain lately. Our sump pump is pumping, but not much water is coming out. So I'm guessing the intake is clogged. So we're going to pull it out, and we'll see what's happening on the intake. Alright, here we go. That was a rock and a piece of pottery or something in there. Oh, this is a piece of pipe. Okay. Well, that's not good. Why does it look clear besides that? So let's put it back in and we'll see if it starts pumping. Very strange, I must say. There's no kind of filter on it. At least I couldn't see one. Unless there was a filter on it and it came off. I'm not sure. I don't remember right now. So, put this back up. If you remember from before, this pump is slightly taller, so the outlet pipe is a little bit too tall, but I didn't want to mess with shortening it. But at the end of the season, when it's time to take this out and clean out the sump, we'll take it out and get the right length there so it fits in easier. All right, it's pumping now. It sounds better. Let's go out to the street and we'll see if it's pumping out to the street. All right, this looks a lot better. There we go. See, it's flowing massively out to the street, so it's working again. All right. All right, let's go back and check on it and see how it's doing. It should be able to empty that sump in 10 minutes or so, probably. All right, this looks a lot better. There we go. See, it's flowing massively out to the street, so it's working again. All right. All right, let's go back and check on it and see how it's doing. It should be able to empty that sump in 10 minutes or so, probably. All right, the pump sounds great. It's gone down 3 or 4 inches already, maybe 3 inches. So I have a reminder to check the sump pump once a week, just for this reason. So I hadn't expected any problems with this one, but it's probably got a much more powerful suction that it was able to suck up this piece of plastic and that rock, wherever that rock went. So anyway, at the end of the season, I think I've shown it before, I take the vacuum and vacuum out the bottom of the sump to get anything that's down there using the shop vac. So I'll show that Yeah, after the rainy season's over. Meanwhile, Sump Up back in action. Okay, we had our first big storm of the season, and we got almost 2 inches of rain over probably a 3-day period, so not super intense, but significant. So we'll dump that out. Now let's go take a look at the new sump pump and see how it did. So this is our new half horsepower sump pump that we got to keep up with the rain, because last season we had all those atmospheric rivers, so we saw that. Let's see how we're doing there. So in rainy season I check this every couple days to make sure it's working. So as you can see, there's almost no water down in there. Yeah, you don't see water coming in through the pipes on the side, so that means that the ground is still being saturated. So last season there were so many storms, one after the other, with inches of rain each time, that the ground got completely saturated, and any water that came in, any rain that came in after that, went straight to the French drain. So far so good, and we'll see. Maybe a couple more storms later, I'll come check up on it again. All right, it's September of the next year, and it's time to pull the pump out and see if there's any leaves, whatever, getting in the intake. Let's give it a general once over. So we're going to use this deck flosser this time. It's called Deckhand. Use it to get the leaves out in between the grooves in your or the gaps in your deck. So I use this every year to clean my deck. This is a nice strong pole here. We're going to hook the handle on the pump. Remember, we decided we didn't want to keep lifting. This pump's a lot heavier than the other one, or somewhat heavier, so we don't want to keep lifting it by the pipe. So we're going to lift it by this thing. Get this out, and we'll take a look at the intake and see how it did. We're also going to, you saw earlier in the video, this pipe here had to be bowed slightly to get it to fit, because the opening for where the pipe goes into the pump is a little bit taller than the old one. So we're going to be cutting an inch out of this, and then the pump will fit better down in the hole. All right. Well, this pump doesn't have any kind of much of a screen on the bottom. It's got a hole, and then it's got some circulars. It does have some feet to keep it up off the ground. That's another reason why probably it's taller than the other pump. The other pump sat much closer to the ground. The feet were a lot shorter. It did have a plastic screen. So anyway, there's no leaf problem here. The magnetic float switch seems to be working great. So I see that's how that works. So as the float goes up, it pushes this thing up into this chamber here, and that's where the magnet flip the switch. So the magnetic switch is up here. There's nothing magnetic about this float. I didn't realize that before. So. All right, nice design. All right, so this is all good. A little bit of rust here. This is cast iron, so it's not really going to hurt it that much. We're going to vacuum out the hole just to make sure there's no leaves down in there. I'm not going to show that. I already showed that before. We'll vacuum that out. We'll cut 1 inch out of this pipe, and then put it together with this union that I showed before, 1 1/4 inch union, and then we'll put it back down in the hole and wait for the next storm. All right. Well, the shop vac wasn't powerful enough. There weren't really any leaves in the bottom, but it was the shop vac is powerful to bring up 3/4 inch rocks out of the bottom. That's pretty interesting. I did just clean it out and clean the filter, so it's got a maximum suction. Anyway, let's go ahead and cut out that 1 inch of pipe, and we'll get it set up to go back down in the hole. All right, I didn't show it, but there was water. Was water still in this pipe, the stand pipe, because of the check valve. Check valve is over here, so the whole idea is that you have the pump primed all the time. So the instruction for the pump said you're supposed to drill a 1/8 inch hole. I still haven't done it. Pump works fine, so I might investigate it some more, but so far I haven't done anything. So, all right, so we're going to cut out 1 inch of pipe. I would do it kind of close to the top and leave enough room in case I need to do something with this pipe in the future. I have these PVC pipe cutter, but unfortunately they go up to 1 inch. So, all have to use a hacksaw, which is okay. Let's make sure we clean the ends off. So we don't want any plastic stuff going down into here. Although the check valve will probably stop it. But anyway, so that's not a good idea. So we're going to cut this here, and then we'll cut another inch off, and then we'll glue it back together. Oh, that was easy. Alright, so we're going to clean off the ends of this pipe. It's got a lot of junk here on the end, like sawdust, pipe dust. We're going to get that out. We don't really want that. It shouldn't really go in the pump because of the check valve, but at least to get it in the water line. We're just using our gloves here to. Could use a file, but this is, or sandpaper might be better, but this should be fine. All right, so the outside of this is reasonably clean. Now we're going to glue it together using our union, and then we'll put it back down in the hole after it dries out. All right, we're using my favorite PVC cement. So also comes with a primer. You put the primer on first. That softens the PVC plastic, and use the glue to stick it together. So I don't have any financial connection with this company, but I like it. So it's going to be using disposable gloves. We don't want to get this stuff on our hands. It's kind of nasty. Particularly this stuff. This is all plastic. So you just go around the corner like this, and then around the periphery, the perimeter. Do the same thing in your union. I think I have enough here to just do this other side too. Let's see. So you want to put this on first and let it work a little bit, and then yeah, this is enough. That's good. Doesn't smell that great. I could wear a mask, but this is going to be a short job, so skip that this time. Let's try not to breathe too much. All right, so then you dripping on the union. Then you put the glue on both sides. That's what I do. So you just go around like this. So glue on that side, then glue on this side, on one of these sides. And you have some seconds here. You don't have to do it immediately. Then you screw it, push it in, and you twist it. That distributes the glue all over. We want to get this all the way seated. So, all right, there's enough friction there. It's going to hold it. I'm not going to worry about holding it. And we'll just do the other side. And we got to make sure when we get done that this is this way. I'm gonna set this up like this to make sure we get this in the right direction. So from before, the inlet pipe or the outlet pipe to the pump has to go parallel with the pump, because the pump sits that way, the intake sits that way in the hole, and then the outtake is this way. So we're going to put this in this way at a 90, and then you turn it about a 90 is all you need to turn it to get it to seat properly. Put this over here, put some here, this, and then we'll put some in here. That should be enough. This isn't under high pressure, so it's fine. Alright, then we're going to be careful here and get it so it's oriented correctly, or we're going to have problems later. Put this down and then twist it where it's seated. Let's just push it all the way. Make sure this is lined up. Once it's glued, that's it. So that looks pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so we're gonna let this dry an hour or so. Let's see what it says how long it's supposed to dry. Several parts quickly, yeah, I did that. Push pipe fully and then do a quarter turn, I did that.
Hold the fan together for 30 seconds. Yeah, we don't have to do that because there's too much friction here. And 15 minutes for good handling, 2 hours secure for temperatures over 60 degrees. So for a pressure of up to 180 psi. Okay, well, so probably I have to go and do something else. So I'll come back in a couple hours and it'll be set easily. This is nowhere near 180 psi, so it should be fine. I'm gonna put it back in the hole. We're not gonna test it right now. Actually, you know what? I will test it. Sure. All right, so put it back in the hole, test it with some water, and then we'll be ready for the winter storm season. That's what this is all about. Okay, the PVC glue is dried, so we're going to load this back in the hole, and hopefully we didn't cut it off too short. We're going to use this deck mate thing again because this pump is heavy, so it's cast iron. Lowered in the hole, try not to hit the cord. Now, it looks like it's lining up a lot better. Let's see if we can screw the union in there and get it hooked up again. Alright, so I can get the union started without having to lift up the pipe, so that's perfect. If I cut it too short, I would have to suspend it in the air and have it bend back down, which we don't want. So. Alright. Hand tight is fine. There's a gasket in this union. Alright, that looks perfect. Alright, so 1 inch was the right amount. Now we're going to get some water, put it down in the hole, and see if it pumps. Alright, I plugged the pump back in. That's a good idea. So it takes about, I think we said 6 or 8 inches of water to get the pump. Alright, there it goes. Okay, let's go out to the street and we'll see the water coming out there. Alright, here it comes. Alright, it's working. Let's go back and we'll do a wrap up and we'll wait for the next storm. Alright, so we successfully replaced the sump pump with a higher throughput. More gallons per minute. So 1/2 horsepower instead of 1/3 horsepower. And survived a few more atmospheric rivers. Not as much as the very first year when the old pump couldn't keep up, but it's been substantial. So that's good, and we improved the outlet pipe by shortening it to make it fit better. So that's one of the things that comes up in projects like this. All right, so this particular French drain is over. Let's see, it's 33 years old. It's doing fine so far. The pump's been replaced a few times, but the drain itself is working great. So good construction by the original contractor and good maintenance by me. All right, so let's see what happens when the next storm comes. I'll probably do another follow-up video in maybe 5 years or so, and if it's still working great, I'll have an update on how well the pump's doing. But other than that, we're hopefully going to close this up and not think about it until it starts raining. There. Out of sight, but not out of mind.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.